Hi, I'm Sandy Briggs, and I'm here with you today to interview Mr. Samuel Bearman, an attorney who has practiced in Pensacola for 33 years and specializes in personal injury law. Today we'll be discussing a problem that haunts all of us along the Gulf Coast, the oil spill. Good morning, Mr. Bearman.
Good morning.
What can the law do, and you as a lawyer, to help a person whose business has been affected by the oil spill?
The whole concept of the law is to try to make someone whole for a wrong done to him. This oil spill is no different. So if somebody has a business, for example, in Pensacola Beach, a restaurant, for example, and the oil spill affects that person's business, where customers don't come, or the restaurant owner can't get the fish or shellfish to serve in his restaurant, and he loses money because of it, the whole concept is to file a claim against the responsible parties to make that restaurant owner or hotel owner or property owner whole for the losses. And when I say make that property owner or restaurant owner whole, I mean identify the money that has been lost as a result of the oil spill and file a claim against the responsible parties for that amount of money.
Will an individual or a business have to actually file a lawsuit?
Maybe not. BP has set up a procedure by which a restaurant owner or a business owner or individual property owner can file a claim, and that's what BP wants. And BP is saying, BP being British Petroleum, BP is saying that it will pay the claims. And so if BP makes the restaurant owner, hotel owner, property owner whole, you don't need an attorney, you don't need to go filing a lawsuit. Where we come in is that if BP or the other responsible parties don't voluntarily make you whole, then we can step into the picture and follow the legal procedure that's in place to try to get that restaurant owner, property owner, hotel owner, motel owner the compensation that he would have had there not been an oil spill.
We've all heard the term class action suit. Will all the lawsuits filed due to the oil spill be class action suits?
No. Class actions are for particular situations. Class actions is one of those terms thrown around so commonly that it seems like every case may be a class action, but that's not the case. Class actions are when you have a group of people whose circumstances are so identical that they can be grouped together, and so instead of each person or business having an individual lawsuit, those persons or businesses are grouped together because there is so much identity in their circumstances that it just makes judicial economy to go forward with the case with all of them grouped together. In this case, there will be some class actions. Others won't have class action circumstances. And whether or not a class action is in the best interest of a particular client dictates whether or not that client joins the class or proceeds with the case individually.
Who are the parties considered responsible for lawsuits involving an oil spill?
Well, let's talk about this one. The company that was operating this oil well was BP, British Petroleum. There's another company, Transocean, that owned this oil rig or owned the rights to access the oil. BP was leasing from Transocean and was operating the oil rig. Didn't own it, but operated it. Halliburton is a company that poured concrete as part of the process for accessing the oil. There's a question about whether or not that pouring of the concrete led to or contributed to the explosion that led to the the oil being released. And there are other companies as well. That oil rig, like a lot of businesses, is a complex business, and there were a lot of subcontractors involved in the operation of that oil rig as well. And so what we need to do is to learn all there is to know about what caused the explosion and what caused the failure to capture the oil, identify those parties who have responsibility, just like in an automobile accident, identify those parties who have responsibility, and a claim would be filed against those parties if they don't voluntarily make the victims of the oil spill whole. And by victims, I don't mean the poor people who died on the oil rig, certainly they're victims, but also those on the beaches who lose business, who lose property value, or have other losses because of the oil.
How long will this process take, beginning to end?
Well, a lot depends upon the response of the responsible parties, BP, Halliburton, Transocean. If they step up and do what they say they're going to do, which is to pay claims, pay all legitimate claims, pay them in whole, then that process could take less than a year. First, we need to know how much oil there is that's going to be released. We don't know that at this point as we're sitting here in mid-June. We need to know how much oil there's going to be. We need to know where the oil is going to go. And then those who have suffered because of the oil spill have to be able to total up what their losses are, past losses and future losses. And once they do that, they can submit the claim to BP and other responsible parties, and maybe those parties will pay. My experience is they won't, but they may. They say they will. If they don't, then it's time to bring the attorneys in. And what we can do is file a claim and hopefully get those claims paid right away. If BP does what Exxon did in the Valdez circumstance in Alaska, then the process can go on a while, because there Exxon kept appealing, they kept appealing, they kept appealing. We hope that doesn't happen. We hope BP does what it says it will do, which is to work with the claimants to get the claims paid. We hope that that tone doesn't change when the cameras are off of BP. We hope that they continue to do that. So to answer your question, it depends upon how responsible and quickly the responsible parties step up to the plate and pay the claims. If they do that quickly, it can get resolved within a year. If they don't, it could take a couple of years or 3 years. If they take the stance that Exxon took regarding the Valdez, then it could take longer than that. But certainly nobody wants it to take long, except maybe the parties that are responsible.